Hey, Andrew here from The Investor's Way, and welcome to Woody's Weekly Wisdom, episode number 24. And today we're going to stay away from interest rates, briefly. So, as you've probably heard, if you're living in Australia, inflation has come down in the latest quarter to just 6%. I say just 6% because it's been a lot higher. But all the talk is that should put another hold on interest rates. So that's enough about interest rates for today's episode. Let's dive into something that is hopefully a lot more helpful to your day-to-day management of the cost of living pressures. So I found this article, and it's all about supermarket tactics used to trick shoppers into spending more. So with the cost of living becoming such a hot topic, and with pressure being applied to your money planner, I say that in the hope that you're using a money planner and not a budget. We all know that budgets don't work. Great on paper, useless when you need them. But hopefully you're using a money planner. But even with a money planner, when costs are rising so rapidly, you have to be vigilant. And I guess we all know that supermarkets have been using tactics to get us to spend more. But are we actually aware of some of the more sneaky, let's call them sneaky tricks that the supermarkets are using to get you to part with more of the cold, hard cash that you've earned than you really want to? And so I thought, why not take a look at this article, get past all the advertising, and have a look at what this article suggests are the top 5, I believe, tricks that are causing shoppers to spend more in supermarkets. And some of them are so subtle that you're probably not aware that they're designed to actually get you to spend more. And so once you become aware of them, awareness is a huge part of managing anything in life. But when it comes to these tricks that the supermarkets are using, awareness is a really cool, I guess, defense mechanism that you can use to fight back against these tricks. And I highly recommend that you really understand these tricks and know when they're being applied to you. And recognize next time you're in a supermarket these tricks, and just spend a little bit more time to defend against them and use your own powers of resistance to overcome them. So let's dive in. So it says here, many Australians are looking for ways to cut their spending. Research revealing 55% are willing to reduce how much they spend on takeaway and eating out. So therefore, we're going into the supermarkets and spending more in the supermarkets. So let's scroll down, get past all the research. All the tactics listed are based on psychology. So that's heads up on how they get to us. And the first one that they talk about is these locked-in deals. So they're saying that there's a big bright label saying that this price has been capped at this specific price up until a certain date. Well, the trick behind this is that it doesn't mean it's on special. It doesn't mean it's a cheaper price. It's just been highlighted so that you'll be attracted to it. So that's the first one. Just know what is, I guess, a good price or a normal price for the items that you're buying, and that to me is bordering on deceptive conduct, but they get away with it. So there it is, locked in. So look out for those locked in, those bright shiny price labels that suggest that something is a locked in price. It doesn't necessarily mean it's cheaper, it's on discount, or any of those type of things. The second one, and this is one that probably most of us are already aware of, but the layout, supermarket layout, is deliberately designed to put things in places that force you to walk past more of the items in the shop. So bread and milk, two of the most common things that people go to shop for, well, they're often completely opposite ends of the store. which forces you to walk past a whole bunch of stuff. And in the process of walking past it, more often than not, people put more items in their shopping basket. So be mindful of that one. And so the third one is bigger shopping carts. Now, who would have thought that by pushing around a bigger shopping cart, somehow it makes us feel as though we have to put more in them? And if it looks like it's empty, it makes us feel like we've missed something, or that we need to put more in there. And that is quite a sneaky little trick that is used. So you probably find that there are additional options available now. There's the obviously the large shopping trolley, and then there's the smaller one. Maybe just try the smaller one for a while and see how that goes, and see if that makes any difference to how much you spend. And then the fourth tactic that they're using is, and this one really is very, very sneaky, they play relaxing music, slow-paced music. And what does that do? It actually results in you reflecting and mimicking the pace of the music in your movements. So it's a neuro-linguistic programming tactic that is used. Often if you're meeting someone for the first time, or you're in a job interview, they'll tell you to mirror the actions of the person interviewing you, or that you're meeting, so that you become in sync with their movements and their pace. And so this is exactly the same thing in a shopping market. They get you to slow down. And when you slow down, you spend more time in the store. And when you spend more time in the store, you spend more money. So that one, for me, is a ripper. It really is the one that I think, if there's any of these that you take away, this one is the most important to be aware of, is your speed. So if you're a fast walker, make sure you're still a fast walker in a shopping centre or the supermarket, and just see if that changes how much you spend, because the idea of the music is to get you to slow down, look at more items, and before you know it, you've filled up that bigger shopping trolley with more items. So that one really is a very sneaky one, but one that is causing people to spend more than they had planned to or can afford to. And then the final one, I think, buy two, get one free. Now, these are, they might look like great value, but if you only need one, why would you buy two? And often there's a buy one, get two deal, because the second one, or both of them, are very close to their expiry date. So your mind is, well, if I can buy one and get two, that's great. I'll just put the other one on the shelf and it'll be all fine. But if by the time you get to use it, it's out of date, then you haven't saved a cent and you've got to go back and buy again. So be very, very mindful of these 2-for-1 deals, and check the expiry dates, because often they're 2-for-1 because they need to get rid of them themselves before they have to throw them out. I'd much prefer you throw them out and come back and buy again. And that, again, is a very, very sneaky little trick that they're using to get you to spend more than you need to. So there's 5. I'm not sure there's any more. Yep, so this is basically saying that the new research from the National Australia Bank has found that 18% of people are unwilling to cut back on spending when it comes to their pets, but they will cut back on, unwilling on private school fees and child activities. So if it's eating out and those types of things that you're willing to cut back on, which it says here, coffees and things like that. So we're eating more at home. We need to be very, very mindful of the tricks that the supermarkets are using to get us to spend more. And those tricks end up filling up your shopping trolley because it's now bigger, and you've spent more time in there because you're walking slower, because the music's got you walking slower, and you're going after all the bright labels where there's supposedly these great deals, and you're picking up the 2-for-1 deals. So all of that put together, and what do you know, you've spent more on your food budget than you thought you would when your intention was to spend less in the week because you're eating at home, but all you've done is been lulled into this trick of spending more. So hopefully that is a way that you can be more aware of these tricks and be more mindful of them when it comes to how you're spending your money in store, so that you get more out of your money planner and not overspend. And as I said, that is a huge reason why budgets don't work, because people will walk in and the budget is something they haven't looked at for ages, and they'll just spend up, fill up the trolley, and before they know it, they've got nothing left at the end of the week or the month. So in the context of rising cost of living, rising interest rates and inflation, we can now say at least that there is potentially a pause on interest rates and inflation is definitely coming down. Hopefully that means we'll see some better deals in store and a cooling of the prices. We won't be chasing the $15 lettuces, although that hasn't been a thing for a while. And that will mean that you've got more money in your bank accounts and get more of that money into investing. So be mindful of those 5 tricks that the supermarkets are using and use them to your advantage. Use the knowledge of their tricks to your advantage so that you're not succumbing to those tricks, and you can ensure that you can still have that, I guess, that intention of staying home and spending less whilst out, at restaurants and things like that, if that's something that you've decided to do. And by staying home, you are actually getting the savings that you wanted to, and the supermarkets haven't tricked you into spending more than you wanted to. Now, I've talked about a money planner a few times today. If you're interested in knowing about what that process is all about, leave us a comment, send us a message, reach out however you know how and want to, and we can have a chat and I can show you how you can get all set up with a money planner that is much, much better than a budget. And I'm getting some rave reviews about how good the money planner process is and how good it is in helping people manage in these times. So reach out, let us know. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell to be notified when we release a new video. And if you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, make sure you like, comment, share, so that more people can be made aware of these supermarket tricks and have better money outcomes and therefore a more secure financial future, which is what we're all about here at The Investor's Way. So hopefully that was helpful. I'll see you again next week for another Woody's Weekly Wisdom. And in the meantime, spend wisely. Cheers.